I don't know if I'm live. Hello? Sorry, just a random error message just popped up on my screen there to say if you navigate away from the screen, blah, 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 blah will happen. Well, I don't want that to happen, blah, 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 blah. I want happiness and sunshine and rainbows. Right. Hello, girls. Are we live? Five. Da, 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 da. Right. So if you could give me a wee hashtag live in the comments or a hashtag replay if you get me live. I've got many thoughts, many chats, many topics today. But first, a rant. So, seriously, Facebook, are you listening to me? I would like the members that have taken 2 minutes out of their day to join this group to actually receive the content that I spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours creating, curating, and posting. That's all. I don't think that's really a lot to ask for, is it? Nope, I don't think so. I don't want to have to pay a lot of money for advertising. I don't want my posts to be sponsored posts because what I write is not for advertising. What I write is for value. And rant over. You liking my headband today? Feeling quite feminine today with my pastels, unlike me. And I have my one of my favourite pairs of Air Maxes on to complement. Oops, just dropped some. Oops. Right, okay, let's get this started. So, tonight we're talking about how to make any time the right time. And it combines a lot of stuff. It combines procrastination, it combines prioritization, it combines everything. And the reason why I've been motivated to talk about this today is you probably know by now that tonight at 10 is the closing date time for the Confident Body Method, which is my new 10-week course. It's fantabulous. I can't wait to do our orientation meeting on Sunday and get started next week. Genuinely, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I have put blood, sweat, no tears. I've not cried about this one because it is brilliant. And I've not been overwhelmed with content. I've not been overwhelmed with tech. It's been good so far. So if you're in, I'll be seeing you soon. We're having me and Lisa, who is our team support / admin, I've got a meeting tomorrow morning to just get everybody sorted. Anyway, but that is coming. The enrollment for that is closing tonight at 10. Now, over the past week, so in the Piss Off Perimenopause Challenge, I did a lot of work with the ladies on mindset. So we did some work on nutrition. So we taught the basics of the Eat, Move, Win principle. So we talk about the eat, and everybody had a basic cheat sheet to follow for a few days, which is not sustainable. If you're still doing it, stop. It is not sustainable. I did mention this several times in the challenge. It is not for your long-term use, okay? So don't think that that is going to be how you should be eating for the rest of your life, because it's not. Okay, so we had a nutritional cheat sheet. We did some movement work. We talked about the principles of resistance training and improving metabolism through resistance training and increasing our muscle mass. And we talked a lot about the win element, which is our mindset coaching and our being the person that we want to be and ditching all these preconceived notions that we have and all these limiting beliefs. And I'll tell you something, the mindset day blew my mind. You know, people were really into it, the energy was high. There was so much honesty and vulnerability about accepting that, yeah, they knew where the blockers are and how they need to change it, etc., etc., which is brilliant. Now, what was very interesting to me is the people that were saying they know they need to change and they need to overcome this because it's going to help them to get the body they want, the confidence they want. They are not the people that are signing up for the Confident Body Method. And when I've chatted to some of them in Messenger, I'm hearing it's not the right time. I know I need to prioritize myself. I know I need to lose weight. I know I need to be more motivated. I need to do X, Y, and Z. But, and there's always a big but. And that is crap, quite frankly, crap. It's, you know, my goal here, and everybody's goal actually, every single person that joins this group joins for one reason, and it's not to lose weight. You know, very much that's the very much surface level why people join or why they think they need to help is to lose weight, but it's not. The biggest thing that we're all here for is to be the absolute best version of ourselves that we can be. And for some people, that is losing weight and having more self-esteem. Some people, that is losing weight and having a lot more confidence. For some people, that is overcoming years of dieting and shit relationship with food to be able to, forgive themselves and move on. So there's different variations, but it all fundamentally boils down to the fact that we all want to be the best version of ourselves. So, when I was thinking about this topic, and honestly, I could literally sit here for about 3 days and talk to you about this while I'm gnawing at my own arm with hunger. And this whole phrase of "I really need to" or "I know I need to" is always a precursor to a but. There's always a but, and a lot of women do already acknowledge that. Yeah, they are very good at making excuses. They are very good at saying things like, I know this sounds like an excuse, but that phrase is an active example of self-sabotage. It's an active example of self-sabotage. So we all think everybody's reasons for not doing things are absolutely valid. Don't get me wrong. Like, the but is valid because the but is always based on something real. It might not. One girl today I was talking about who's got driving lessons. Another but was around nervousness about the cost of living increases. But that is just making guesses on things in the future. That's just, we know that chances are things are going to go up, but it hasn't happened yet. It's not real. It's a risk. It's not an actual thing. And that's me going into some SWOT analysis, project management work there. But this act of self-sabotage of I know I need to, or I really need to, or blah, 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 but that but isn't actually anything to do with what the verbiage of the but is. So somebody says to me, I know I really need to do something, but I have got driving lessons. We'll use that example today. That's not the real reason. It always boils down to fear. Always boils down to fear. And it could be fear of failure, because for the most part, I hazard a guess and say about 90% of the people in this group have failed at a weight loss attempt before, or they have failed at a transformation before, or they have lost hundreds of weight and regained it. I would honestly say that's quite a high percentage of people. So it's fear. It could be fear of failure. It could be, and this one comes up quite a lot, is fear of admitting that you don't actually know what to do. And we find this a lot in our control freakery ladies. And I have been very open in the past about how I am very much a self-confessed control freak. It's AKA type A personality, very used to making decisions, very used to leading, very used to, whether it's running a house, running a team, managing a business, whatever it is. Those types of personalities find it very, very, very hard to admit that what they think they should be doing isn't actually the right thing to do. And the other one as well is, and that can be quite an ego thing, and I don't mean ego as in like the big I am, oh well, I'm too good for this. That's not what I'm saying. It's our sense of self doesn't like to admit that sometimes we don't know what to do. And the one of the biggest hurdles as well is just a fear of needing help. We don't ever like to put our hand up and say, oh dear, I need help with this. Because we are all very much used to having to have manage things. We know when all the kids' clubs are and the cat's at the vet, and we know what's for dinner every single night this week, and we know when the MOT's due, and I don't actually know when my MOT's due, and we know where the rugby game is at the weekend, and we know that Archie's got a sleepover at the weekend, and then he's got some kind of camp the following week. So we just know things, and then all of a sudden, if we don't know, it's like, oh, it's a weakness. Oh no, it's a weakness. And it's not, it's absolutely not. And that is probably one of the biggest things that I have learned since creating my business, is that actually there's always somebody in the room that is smarter, brighter, richer, knows more than you. Always. Always. There will be an occasion where you're the brightest person in the room and you know most. And I'm just looking at who's on here. So Caroline, sorry, I'm going to use her example. Caroline is a living, breathing expert on wind farms. Put her in a room and ask somebody to talk about wind farms. She is going to win it. Always. Helen is always going to be the expert in the room about strong women competitions. Kathleen, building supplies and curly hair. Sandra, horses and Labradors. Two of my favourite subjects. That's the only names I can see on the screen right now. So there's always going to be somebody that knows more than you and knows how to do things better than you. That's just how life is. So one of the things that stood out to me today was I was chatting to a couple of people and I was like, I recognise you, I've spoken to you before, and look back into my notes, and we're talking years of, I really need to do something, I really need to prioritise myself, I really need to do this, and years later still not doing it. Okay, so what do you think happens when we continually tell ourselves this story of I really need to do something but never actually do it? Nothing ever happens. That then becomes a habit. That lack of actual action taken becomes a habit. We just procrastinate, we just talk about it and think about it and never actually do anything, and then boom. And I do hear this a lot from ladies, is it gets to a point where it feels like almost too late, and then we have a whole other fear factor going on. So what we want to think about is, if you have a goal for weight loss, fat loss, dropping dress sizes, more confidence, more esteem, making it less hard to go out and have fun and have a drink and not balloon, why don't we change the language from I really need to do something to I must do something? What do you think that shift in language actually does to our brain, to the language that we are telling? If we continuously, I really must do something, I really should get motivated, I really should do this, that's just giving ourselves permission to just put our feet up and do jack shit. But if we change that to I must, then that puts a whole sense of urgency on it. And if there's not a must, if you don't think you really need to can equate to a must, then you're never going to do it, because you're just putting it off all the time. So if you have a goal to change your body, to change your confidence, and you've been talking about this for some time and you really want to do it, but do you really need to do it, or is it just something that you think you should do? Because if you don't really want it and you don't really care if you have it or not, then stop thinking about it. We have so little brain space, we've got so many other things to consider, that if it's not really that big a deal to you, accept it and move on and put your attention somewhere else. It really is quite simple when you look at it. So if you've spent years and years and years, or months or days even, going, oh, I really need to do something, but it's not important to do something, not important enough to you to do something, then you need to accept the fact that it ain't going to happen, and then start using all that energy in another area. And that is by far and away a much, much, much better use of your time. Much, much, much better use of time. And it can be really hard to do. I'll give you an example of where I've gone through this. I kept saying, I really need to do online fitness classes. I really need to do online fitness classes. I really need to do online fitness classes. I didn't want to do online fitness classes. It was not the area of focus for me. It's not my area of expertise. I love teaching classes. I haven't done it for a while. I love teaching classes, but that's not my sphere of excellence anymore. My sphere of excellence now is nutrition and mindset work. And the exercise is almost the easiest part for all our clients. So change the language. If you have a goal and it's important to you, change your language to I must do that. And that might mean that you have to make a hard decision to actually prioritize yourself. So when we actually start saying I must, that is a proper decision. That has urgency attached to it. It's not a wishy-washy thought. It means that you have to woman up and stop using that word but. It means you actually have to woman up and go, do you know what? I need to take action. I'm going to take action, and this is how I'm going to do it. And not just talk about it and put excuses in front of you all the way down the road. Does that all make sense? I think it does make sense. It all comes back to, I'm worried that if I rip off the plaster and do something that's going to help me reach my goals, I'm scared for it not working, or I'm scared of it actually working. That's another big one. I'm scared of being seen as a failure because I need somebody to help me with this. And you know what? This is really interesting. See, the most successful people in the world, it's not because they've not failed. They've failed more than anyone else. It's just that they pick themselves up, dust themselves down, and try again. That's it. We have this perception that the most successful people in the world have got that way because they've never had any failures. And that's bollocks. They've had more than anyone else. If you ever read, there's a couple of good books that I enjoyed. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, who is the founder of Nike, depending on where you are in the world. There's a book called, I think it's called That'll Never Work, and it's by the founder of Netflix and one of Richard Branson's books, I can't remember. And they're a catalogue of disasters. Their entire journeys from being the humble person working out their bedroom to having this multi-gazillion pound conglomerate. Oh my God, you would take their story to Business Gateway and be like, don't do what they did. But they've made it work because they've gone, right, okay, well, that didn't work, just do this one. That didn't work, I'll just adjust that, and then that'll work. And we're just testing and learning. Every path to success is just a test and learn. And it's so interesting. So, thoughts to you. Actually, here's my analogy, but I decided my analogy didn't work. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, how can I put this in a non-coaching kind of a way? And I was like, right, okay, my degree is in HR. I hated working in HR. I worked in HR in the NHS in Aberdeen, and it was actually an alright part of the business. So it was health promotion, so it was quite apt. But I just didn't like working in HR. And I was like, right, imagine you're working in HR though, and you've got an employee come to you and say, I really need some help. I've got a grievance, I'm getting bullied in the workplace, and I really need some help organising a grievance. And you explain the process, and then that employee turns around and says, well, do you know what? I know I really need to do something, but I'll just leave it for now. And I'll try and fix it myself. The duty of care on that HR person is the same duty of care that I have to all the ladies in this group. That if you want something, you've got to go after it, because if you don't go after it, you're never going to get it. Never. The only difference between success and failure, or result and no result, is taking action. And sometimes it's very scary, and sometimes we have to rip off the plaster, and sometimes we have to overcome that resistance. In fact, the resistance is science. Your brain is hardwired for comfort. Your brain is hardwired for all the things that we know around about us. We love, we recognise, it's cosy and warm. Nothing happens there. Once we tell our brains and go, do you know what, brain? Shut up. I want to do something different. Your brain has to succumb to you. Your brain has to you have to dominate your own brain, essentially, to move forward. So change your I need to. Make it a proper decision. Make it a must, not a wishy-washy thought. Because wishy-washy thoughts won't get you anywhere. All right? Does that make sense? Hey, girl. Hi, world. Hi, world. So yeah, that's that. So I thought that was very good timing, actually, to talk about all of that. So Confident Body Message closes at 10 p.m. No exceptions. I'm very excited. I know I said that again, but I'm genuinely very, very excited. This is a game changer, an actual game changer, given the value and given the content and the level of coaching and the level of support. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So if you need a reminder, Confident Body Method, I'll actually put the link in the the comments there. So standard 10 weeks coaching. You've missed the 24-hour bonuses now, but 10 weeks coaching, 2 live sessions every single week. Nutrition, personalized nutrition, movement, mindset work. We're going to change that brain. £580. Can do installments. And the VIP option, which has 3 one-to-one sessions, is £980. Also installments. The installments are a little bit more. They work out a little bit more because it costs me more to do installments. So that's how we're doing it. So yeah, it's very exciting times. Very much looking forward to it. Good mix of people as well. I'm looking forward to getting everybody together. Oh, Vicky, come on in and join us. Come on, pal. Come on. You're more than welcome. So I'm going to go now, and I'm expecting my sister and her baby to arrive. I thought they might be here by now and I could like show off the wee tiny baby who's not that tiny anymore. But he is incredibly, incredibly lovely. So yeah, you've got 4.5 hours. Get that I need to mindset shifted to I must. Sign up, join the cool gang. You'll love it. You will love it. We're fabulous. We have a very fabulous team. Although I did say in one of the emails that I was talking about how we get it because we're all in our 40s. And then I was like, apart from Clara, because she's not quite in her 40s yet. But she also has 2 kids, so she kind of trumps me. All right. Okay, so what else have we got coming up? Ask Me Anything on Friday. It was meant to be an Ask Us Anything, but Clara's buggering off to Turkey, which, you know, the first week of us going live with our new course, Clara, skipping off to Turkey. No, I'm only kidding. So it's just going to be a me, Ask Me Anything. And I really expect some dodgy questions. Let's get some dodgy questions. Have you ever? Let's do that on Friday. No, actually, let's not do that. That could be. I'll just for a second going. Nope. Okay, so lovely to have you all here. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this has made sense, and I will speak to some of you really, really soon. All right. Have an amazing evening, my loves. Speak soon. Bye bye.